So just to remind you again what we're doing, थोड़ा theory बाकी है वो करेंगे, then उसके बाद HCV doubts, and the next class TWT doubts plus remaining HCV doubts. Okay? And then with that we are good to wrap up this chapter, and trust me, you will get stronger in this chapter as you proceed, because as you visit other chapters again, they will use SHM in some way or the other, so you will again keep practicing it till it becomes a very basic thing for you guys. And as I said, specifically waves and light waves and all, they anyways use SHM, so you'll get very comfortable with phase and all of that. हाँ, आज आराम से theory हो जाएगा, and we should have time for some HCV questions as well. ठीक है, तो हम आज का जो चीज है ना, purely theoretical stuff है, इस पे ज्यादा you can't solve, but you can just remember these results. You just understand and you'll remember them. That's only a theoretical question on this can come. Okay, cool. So combination of SHMs in two perpendicular directions. So this is in the previous class we had SHMs in the same direction. X is A sin omega t plus B cos omega t, ऐसा कुछ था. यहाँ पे क्या है, यहाँ पे x axis के along एक SHM है और y axis के along एक दूसरा SHM है, दोनों of the same frequency, और इनको combine करना है. Now let me tell you कि whatever I'm doing on this page is not strictly important. This is just for me to demonstrate to you what the result looks like. Okay. अब इस result के 2-3 special cases हैं. Those special cases are important. Still, I for once just do the maths and show you what the result is. Somebody's not able to join. Is that the case? Are you referring to a message on the group? So let me in. Ketan, are you in the meeting? No. Okay, yeah, fine, you're in. Cool. एक बार settings check करता हूँ. हाँ, fine, everything is cool. Waiting room हटा दिया. Okay, cool. So, how I was saying, so in this, I'll just show you the math to show you what the result looks like. And इसके फिर special cases important है. Special cases important है. The actual math and the actual result is very complicated. Even from like a maths perspective, ज़्यादा उसको analyze करने का point नहीं है. So let me tell you what is going on. तो यहाँ पे पार्टिकल का x कोऑर्डिनेट का मोशन विद रिस्पेक्ट टू टाइम ऐसा रहेगा, a sin ओमेगा t. y कोऑर्डिनेट का मोशन ऐसा रहेगा. अब थोड़ा सा मैथ्स वगैरह यूज करके मैं इसको थोड़ा सिंप्लीफाई करूंगा. माय एम इज टू समहाउ गेट रिड ऑफ टाइम. कैसे तो भी मुझे sin ओमेगा t इधर सब्स्टिट्यूट करना है. तो उसके लिए मैं क्या करूंगा, पहले तो इस इक्वेशन को मैं एक्सपैंड करूंगा. Okay, you just follow along. Even if you don't write this, it's okay. Even if you don't remember this again, that's fine. Just follow along. So when I open the brackets, sin omega t plus delta becomes sin omega t cos delta into b plus cos omega t sin delta into b. Okay, that's the first step. Y का equation में bracket खोल दिया. उसके बाद I am taking one of this specific term I'm taking to the left hand side. So taking that to the left hand side, it becomes y minus b sin omega t cos delta is equal to b cos omega t sin delta. Okay. The reason now I'm going to square both sides, and I'll show you when I square why I basically took this to this side before squaring. So now when I square both sides, the right hand side is fairly simple. एक ही term है, that b square cos square omega t sin square delta. लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में दो टर्म था, तो उसका दो टर्म का इनफैक्ट सब्ट्रैक्शन था. उसका स्क्वायर लेने में क्या आएगा, y स्क्वायर प्लस b स्क्वायर sin स्क्वायर ओमेगा t cos स्क्वायर डेल्टा माइनस 2by sin ओमेगा t cos डेल्टा, माइनस 2by sin ओमेगा t cos डेल्टा. तो ऐसा आ गया. अब ये क्यों एक्चुअली मैंने ऐसा किया, remember my objective is to get rid of time. So these are our 3 time equations, time terms. These 3 terms involve time. ये इक्वेशन से ये अभी तक मैं ये दूसरा इक्वेशन को रीअरेंज कर रहा था. Now I'm ready to substitute from the first equation sin omega t as x upon a. So when I substitute sin omega t as x upon a, किधर किधर सब्स्टिट्यूट करूंगा? एक तो यहाँ पे x by a सब्स्टिट्यूट करूंगा, देखो उसी के जगह x by a इधर आ गया, ठीक है. फिर ऊपर साइन स्क्वायर ओमेगा टी को x स्क्वायर बाय a स्क्वायर सब्स्टिट्यूट करूंगा, उसी के जगह है ना, x स्क्वायर बाय a स्क्वायर आ गया. और फिर आखिरी जो टर्म है यहाँ पे cos स्क्वायर ओमेगा टी is 1 minus sin square omega t. Yeah, that's why I brought cos square का term, नहीं तो root होता था, है ना. We don't like working with root. तो cos square omega t is 1 minus sin square omega t. तो 1 minus x square by a square cos square omega t को substitute किया. तो यहाँ से अब omega t हट गया गेम से, and we have an equation in terms of y and x, which is actually now going to be the equation of our curve. Whatever path this particle is following, ये उस पाथ का इक्वेशन है. थोड़ा सा अब इसको सिंप्लीफाई करेंगे टू शो यू व्हाट दिस इक्वेशन एक्चुअली इज. सो इफ यू सी दिस राइट हैंड साइड में आई एम पिकिंग दिस टर्म, मतलब आई एम पिकिंग b स्क्वायर इनटू sin स्क्वायर डेल्टा इनटू x स्क्वायर बाय a स्क्वायर. आई एम पिकिंग दैट टर्म, एंड एज यू कैन सी थ्रू द एरो आई एम टेकिंग इट टू द लेफ्ट हैंड साइड. When I take that to the left hand side, you can see कि b square x square by a square cos square delta clubs with b square x square by a square sin square delta, which will now be positive on the left hand side. So those two club with each other, and cos square delta plus sin square delta becomes 1. Their entire term becomes b square x square upon a square. ठीक है, simple maths, I think you can just follow. b square ये तुम्हें करना नहीं है खुद से, just observe करना what the result is. तो b square x square by a square लेफ्ट हैंड साइड पे आ गया. लेफ्ट हैंड साइड पे और क्या है तो देखते हैं. लेफ्ट हैंड साइड पे ये y स्क्वायर है, यहीं पे लिखा है y स्क्वायर. फिर ये एक टर्म है माइनस 2b xy by a cos डेल्टा, वो सब एज इट इज लिखा है. एंड फिर b स्क्वायर sin square delta को भी right hand side as it is लिखा है. So the only change from the orange step to the light blue step, the only change was I took this term to the left hand side, and then I clubbed cos square delta and sin square delta, and that's it. That's the only change. Rest the equation is still the same. अब इसके आगे how did what get squared? Let me know if you have a doubt in step 1, step 2, 3, 4, fourth line. Okay, I squared both sides. So third line से fourth line I just squared both sides, LHS and RHS. तो ये पूरा टर्म का स्क्वायर ऐसा, और ये तो राइट हैंड साइड इजी था. लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में a माइनस बी द होल स्क्वायर लगाया है ना, तो वो लगा के ऐसे कुछ आ गया. उसके आगे एक और बार बता रहा हूँ, cos स्क्वायर ओमेगा, ये जो इक्वेशन है sin ओमेगा t इज x by a, तो वो मैंने सब्स्टिट्यूट किया. sin ओमेगा t इज x by a यहाँ पे और इसको 1 माइनस साइन स्क्वायर ओमेगा टी करके वापस 1 माइनस एक्स स्क्वायर बाई ए स्क्वायर वहां पे भी सब्स्टिट्यूट किया. ठीक, then we clubbed this term, taking it there. Sin square delta and cos square delta became 1. Finally we get something like this. I'm in a way just I'm in a way rushing through this because you will not do this again. Okay? And then once you have this, just divide it by b. So when I divide this by, in fact not by b, rather by b square. So divide both sides by b square. When I divide it by b square, look at my equation. So y square by b square एक term हो जाएगा. फिर अगला term x square by a square हो जाएगा, as you can see. ठीक है, बस order left right interchange किया. फिर ये term में b square से divide करोगे तो ऊपर का b हटके नीचे एक b रह जाएगा. एंड एज यू कैन सी दैट्स व्हाट आई हैव डन. ऊपर का b हटके इसी इक्वेशन में नीचे इसी टर्म के लिए नीचे b आ गया. एंड RHS में b स्क्वायर डिवाइड करोगे तो b स्क्वायर गया आपके साइन स्क्वायर डेल्टा रह जाए. सो दिस इक्वेशन looks like the equation of a conic. And if you check the value of h square minus ab, I think you've learned conics in maths, so you know to check whether this is the equation of a parabola or an ellipse or a hyperbola, whatever. If you just check the value of this h square minus ab, h 2h is the coefficient of xy, right? Ax square plus by square minus 2hxy and so on. So 2h is the quotient of xy. इसका कोएफिशिएंट इज a और इसका कोएफिशिएंट इज b, राइट? सो h स्क्वायर माइनस ab वो अगर करके देखोगे तो क्या आएगा? cos स्क्वायर डेल्टा अपॉन a स्क्वायर b स्क्वायर माइनस ab माइनस 1 अपॉन a स्क्वायर b स्क्वायर. ठीक है, तो ऐसा रिजल्ट आ रहा है. एंड वी नो cos स्क्वायर डेल्टा हैज टू बी ऑलवेज लेस देन इक्वल टू 1. Always has to be less than equal to 1. So because it's less than 1, this is going to be the equation of because it's less than 1 is going to be it's going to represent the equation of an ellipse. The above equation will represent an ellipse. All right, so now बस उतना ही पॉइंट था इसका. तो क्या है, at the end of the day, all I just showed you this maths once. Now at the end of the day, all you need to remember is combination of SHMs in two perpendicular directions is typically going to give you an ellipse. It's typically going to give you an ellipse. The equation will be that of an ellipse. In all cases except when delta is equal to 1, it will actually be an ellipse. We'll see those other special cases later, but it's predominantly going to be an ellipse. And ये actually इसका motion अगर तुम देखोगे, ये इसको एनालाइज करोगे तो तुम्हें पता है कि x कोऑर्डिनेट प्लस और माइनस a के बीच में ऑसिलेट कर रहा है, जबकि y कोऑर्डिनेट प्लस और माइनस b के बीच में ऑसिलेट कर रहा है. सो द मोशन x is between plus and minus a, y is between plus and minus b. So the motion of the particle looks somewhat like this. It's some kind of ellipse based on delta, है ना? Either it will be tilted or it will be straight, but it's some kind of ellipse located between the lines x equal to plus minus a and the lines x equal to plus minus b. And I hope you guys know enough coordinate geometry to understand कि the lines between x equal to plus minus a and y equal to plus minus b makes a rectangle. So उस rectangle के बीच में ये oscillate करेगा. ठीक है, ऐसा पार्टिकल का मोशन होगा. अब इस पेज से इतना ही याद करो कि combinations of SHMs in two perpendicular directions normally gives you an ellipse. Let's see 3 special cases. वो special cases are the ones which are more important. इसमें जैसा theoretically इतना ही पूछ सकते हैं, they'll not ask you anything on this. They'll not even ask you what angle the axis of the ellipse makes with the x-axis. None of that will be asked. You will just need to know a combination of SHMs in two perpendicular directions gives you an ellipse. It gives you an ellipse. We'll see 3 special cases. Those cases are important. वो भी theoretical point of view से. So we'll see what happens when delta is 0. What happens when delta is 180 degrees. Delta मतलब एक बार क्या है, इन दोनों के बीच में phase difference 0, दूसरे के बीच में 180 और तीसरे केस में उन दोनों के बीच में 90 degrees. So can you guys just take a guess even before I tell you? Can you just have a look at this equation? Now this is the main part. This is what is relevant to us. In that equation अगर delta को 0 डालेंगे, okay, don't look at this. Just focus on the main equation and try to visualize. अगर delta को 0 डालोगे तो what do you get? Anyone wants me to stay here? I'll upload this page. I'm so sorry. Thanks for telling me that. Yeah, sorry. Less than 0. Less than 0. Yeah, less than 0. So less than 0 होना चाहिए. So and ये less than 0 होगा in all cases except when delta is 0 and 180. है ना? So ये cos except for delta being 0 and 180. बाकी सारे केसेस में वो 0 होगा. ठीक है. यहाँ पे एनीवे 0 और 180 के बारे में बात करेंगे. So when delta is 0, x is a sin omega t, y is b sin omega t plus 0, मतलब y is also b sin omega t. तो दोनों का फेज सेम है. दोनों का फेज सेम है. कोई पूछ रहा है why is the ellipse tilted? For one, we definitely know that's not a straight ellipse, right? A straight ellipse centered at the origin, you'll not expect to see this term over there. So it's the equation of an ellipse, but it's the equation of a tilted ellipse. Okay? ऐसा ये general equation है. हर बार tilted नहीं हो, delta पे depend करता है, but general equation is that of an ellipse. That's all I was just एक random ellipse draw किया मैंने. सीधा हो सकता है, tilted हो सकता है, कुछ और इंटरेस्टिंग हो सकता है. देखो स्पेशल केसेस, 3 स्पेशल केस हैं जब डेल्टा 0 है. Okay, if anyone got very overwhelmed with the maths of the previous page and you have shut off, come back. Okay? Forget the previous page if it was too overwhelming. Focus on this. Ultimately, this is important. When delta is 0, x is a sin omega t and y is also b sin omega t. मतलब y का phase same है और इनके बीच में phase difference नहीं है. अगर इनके बीच में phase difference नहीं है, you can clearly see कि I can take sin omega t as x upon a. I can substitute sin omega t as x upon a over here. And when I do that, I have eliminated time and I get this equation between y and x, which clearly looks like a straight line passing through the origin. So the equation that the particle is going to follow is going to be that of a straight line. So this is the graph, एक straight line equation होगा passing through the origin. बट उसके ऊपर हमें और इंफॉर्मेशन पता है कि हमें पता है कि x तो प्लस और माइनस a के बीच में ही ऑसिलेट करेगा, y प्लस और माइनस b के बीच में ही ऑसिलेट करेगा. सो इन ऑल सिनारियोज दिस पार्टिकल इज नॉट गोइंग टू गो आउटसाइड द रेक्टेंगल containing the rectangle made up of x equal to a, x equal to minus a, y equal to b, y equal to minus b. ये बाउंड्रीज तो क्रॉस पार्टिकल नहीं करेगा. ये बाउंड्रीज के बीच में it's going to move along this curve. It's going to move along y equal to bx by a. अब इसको थोड़ा सा समझते हैं. Put the phase as 0 degrees. You're going to get x equal to 0, sin 0, 0. So x is 0, y is 0. So that means the particle starts from the origin. Put the phase as 90 degrees. So sin 90 is 1. So x is a, y is b. So at 90 degrees phase, the particle has reached a comma b. Okay, and apparently it's moved along the straight line. है ना? फिर उसके बाद क्या हो रहा है? Put the phase as 180 degrees. So sin 180 is 0. So x is 0, y is 0, and the particle is back at the origin. And put the phase as 270 degrees. The sin 270 is minus 1. So you can see कि minus 1 डालोगे तो x is at, sorry, particle is at minus a comma minus b. अब third quadrant में आ गया. And then again put omega t as 360. You'll again get the particle to be back at the origin. तो हो क्या रहा है? अब इसको visualize भी करो. Can you visualize कि as the particle along the x-axis performs in SHM, particle का x coordinate SHM कर रहा है और particle का y coordinate भी SHM कर रहा है. x coordinate SHM कर रहा है y coordinate SHM कर रहा है, therefore उसका combination, can you see कि as the x coordinate goes and the y coordinate goes to the extreme, the particle is reaching that point. As the x coordinate and the y coordinate returns, the particle returns to the origin and then goes to the negative, goes to minus a comma minus b. As x goes to minus a and y goes to minus b, then as x and y return to 0, this particle ultimately also returns to 0. So are you able to visualize how given, so okay, हाँ, are you able to visualize how given x and y, ये फिलहाल इस सीन में ऐसा स्ट्रेट लाइन के लॉन्ग पार्टिकल आगे पीछे जा रहा है ना? And one of you saying, sir, how is delta affecting the coordinates of the particle? So actually क्या है, if you look at these equations individually ये इक्वेशन बोलता है कि पार्टिकल माइनस ए से ए जाना पड़ेगा, माइनस ए से ए उसको हर एक्स कोऑर्डिनेट लेना पड़ेगा, और दूसरा इक्वेशन बोलता है कि माइनस बी से बी सिमिलरली पार्टिकल को हर वाई कोऑर्डिनेट लेना पड़ेगा. यस रुद्र, आई डू दैट, है ना? दूसरा इक्वेशन बोल रहा है माइनस बी से बी हर वाई कोऑर्डिनेट पार्टिकल को लेना पड़ेगा. बट डेल्टा डिटर्मिन्स how they do it. When particles x coordinate is at 0, is the y coordinate also at 0? When the particles x coordinate is at the positive extreme, is the y coordinate also in the positive extreme? वो delta determine करता है. Because they have no phase difference, दोनों x and y coordinate mean position same time पे रहेगा, positive extreme same time पे रहेगा, नेगेटिव एक्सट्रीम सेम टाइम पे आ रहा है, दोनों एक्स कोऑर्डिनेट के लिए भी वाई कोऑर्डिनेट के लिए भी, जिसके कारण ऐसा मोशन हो रहा है. एंड इफ दे आर आउट ऑफ फेज, यू कैन इमेजिन व्हाई द जनरल इक्वेशन आई ड्रू दैट टिल्टेड एलिप्स. जब एक्स, जस्ट टू शो यू इन द टिल्टेड एलिप्स, जब एक्स ऐसा हो रहा था कि जब एक्स, देखो एक्स कोऑर्डिनेट अल्टीमेटली माइनस ए और ए के बीच में ऑसिलेट कर रहा है, y भी माइनस बी और बी के बीच में ऑसिलेट कर रहे हैं ना, दे आर टचिंग द टू एक्सट्रीम पॉइंट्स. ओनली थिंग इज दे आर, इफ दे आर नॉट इन फेज or if delta is something weird, then when x is reaching its max value, y has not yet reached its max value. Ulta, when x is about to return, y reaches its max value. Can visualize what's going on? By the time x crosses its mean position, y has not crossed its mean position. But sometime later, y crosses the mean position. X reaches negative extreme, y has not reached negative extreme. Sometime later, y reaches negative extreme. So you get it? So based on delta, that phase difference between them will tell you, है ना, कौन, whether they reach their positive extremes at the same time or whether they reach at different times, how far behind. क्या ऐसा है कि कोई पॉजिटिव एक्सट्रीम पहुंच रहा है और कोई मीन पोजीशन पहुंच रहा है, तो वो डेल्टा बताएगा. ठीक, एंड स्पेसिफिकली हमें ये 3 केस जानना है. तो डेल्टा 0, एनी डाउट्स, डिड यू गेट इट? डेल्टा जब 0 है, मैथमेटिकली दिखता है स्ट्रेट लाइन, क्योंकि व्हेन डेल्टा इज 0, वो प्लस डेल्टा वाला टर्म नहीं है, तो साइन ओमेगा टी, एंड नीचे भी साइन ओमेगा टी, ऊपर भी साइन ओमेगा टी है. हमने पूरा का पूरा साइन ओमेगा टी को ऊपर वाले इक्वेशन से नीचे वाले में सब्स्टिट्यूट किया, x बाय a सब्स्टिट्यूट किया, जहां से ऐसा एक y इक्वल टू bx by a का स्ट्रेट लाइन आ गया. वी नो हाउ दैट लुक्स, सो वी नो व्हाट इट्स डूइंग. एंड आल्सो आर यू एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड बियॉन्ड दिस कि this implies x and y both are reaching positive extreme at the same time. That's why they actually managed to reach that point. X reaches plus a, y reaches plus b. For 270 degrees space mein x reaches minus a, y reaches minus b. That's why they're hitting that point. Can you take a guess how? So the particle's movement is like this. See, just visualize this function. ये function क्या करता है? 0 से a. Yes, this, अच्छा, हाँ, okay, थोड़ा I think confusion हो रहा है with vector representation. This graph has nothing to do with vector representation. That was the combination of 2 SHMs along the same line. यहाँ पे x coordinate, I'll just repeat one more time. X coordinate is doing an SHM. Y coordinate is doing an SHM, okay? And they are in phase. You know the sinusoidal function, how it works. It goes from 0 to A, right? Then it goes back to 0 and goes back to minus A. X coordinate ऐसा motion कर रहा है, 0 to A, back to 0, back to minus A. Y coordinate ऐसा motion कर रहा है, 0 to B, back to 0, back to minus B. Sinusoidal function का ऐसा life रहेगा. And यहाँ पे there is no phase difference, मतलब they are in sync. They are in sync. तो दोनों साथ में x and y साथ में 0 है, x and y साथ में पॉजिटिव एक्सट्रीम पे है, x and y वापस साथ में 0 है, फिर वापस साथ में नेगेटिव एक्सट्रीम है. तो पार्टिकल का मोशन 0,0 से a, b, back to 0,0, over to minus a, b, back to 0,0. Are you now understanding? Are you able to visualize how inka? So now with that, what would happen if the phase difference would be pi, 180 degrees? अगर phase difference pi है, if there is a phase difference of pi between them, मतलब y का phase looks like omega t plus pi, as you can see नीचे. X is a sin omega t, y is, very nice Purna, so y is b sin omega t plus pi, sin omega t plus pi, nice Sanika as well, sin omega t plus pi is minus b sin omega t. Okay, so now mathematically same story. हाँ, perfect, सही है रुद्रा. तो sin omega t is x by a, इधर सब्स्टिट्यूट कर लो, जहां से दिखेगा कि y is minus b x upon a. Sin omega t is x by a, इधर सब्स्टिट्यूट कर लो, y is minus b x by a आ जाएगा, which we know is again the equation of a straight line. And how would its motion look? So first of all, ये negative slope है, which tells us कि the line is going to look like this. So that tells us in fact everything. But if you thoda visualize kar lo, you'll be able to see this as well. Notice ki this time when omega t is 0, x is 0, y is also 0. So it starts from the origin. When omega t is 90 degrees, sin 90 is 1. So this is positive A. Whereas यहाँ पे sin 90 is again 1. So this becomes minus B. So particle is reaching, I think labeling ulta ho gaya. X, it's reaching this point. I'll call this as 90 degrees. So it's reaching positive A and negative B. When omega t is 90 degrees, is reaching positive A and negative B. I think I'll change this to 90. Then moving on, when omega t is 180 degrees, वापस दोनों 0 हो जाएंगे. वापस दोनों 0 हो जाएंगे. And when omega t is 270 degrees, तब x minus a पे पहुंचेगा. X is going to reach its negative extreme and y is going to reach its positive extreme. So here they are like completely out of phase, completely opposite of each other. एक positive direction की तरफ जा रहा है, दूसरा negative direction की तरफ जा रहा है. Completely out of phase. But I hope you are able to visualize कैसे a sin omega t and minus b sin omega t, x coordinate a sin omega t and y coordinate minus b sin omega t का combination is going to look like this kind of motion. Okay, so just let me correct this and I'll just answer your doubt again. Yeah. Prithvi, is it okay if you can unmute, and I think I'll be able to address exactly what you want me to explain.
Sir, I did not get the first one, sir. The whole part.
Okay, so just stay unmuted, don't mute. You mathematically got how I substituted sine omega t as x by a and how I got this
Yes,
equation.
yes, sir.
And here then you also know that this lies between plus minus a and this lies between plus minus b.
Minus B, yes, sir.
So therefore, it's just this line segment over here. Fir, look at omega t, right? Omega t is basically your input angle. Keep
Yes, sir.
changing the angle. So as you change that angle, you can see this function go from 0 to a, then back to 0, then to minus a. And at the same time, when you see the y coordinate go from 0 to b, back to 0, then to minus b. दिख रहा है?
Yes, sir. Sir, but then they're not performing SHM along the line, the orange line, right? In that,
they I think orange line के along भी SHM ही होगा.
no, sir, because they're going from 0 to A and then coming back to 0 and then 0 to minus A and same with the other one.
So this is one particle का x coordinate 0 to a to 0 to minus a कर रहा है,
Yes, sir.
and उसका y coordinate 0 to b back to 0 back to minus b कर रहा है, और particle as a combination of this ऐसा कर रहा है.
Okay, sir, got it.
Got it, right?
Yes, sir.
So particle का जैसे particle का SHM हो जाएगा root a square plus b square sin omega t along this direction. वो root a square plus b square का x component ले लो, that will look like this, और y component ले लो, it will look like this.
Okay, sir.
So
Yes.
particle is actually performing an SHM along both these directions. जैसे x and y कर रहा है वैसे particle कर रहा है, और same चीज यहाँ पे भी हुआ है. I hope that got cleared. Only thing is because यहाँ पे एक minus sign है, because they're out of phase. When x reaches a, y is reaching minus b. And when x reaches the negative extreme, y is reaching the positive extreme. Okay, cool. I'll just add this over here. Glad that came up. This is actually an SHM. Okay, straight line ke long, it's an SHM. Cool. So those are two cases, delta equal to 0, delta equal to pi. इसमें ellipse नहीं बनता है. इसमें भी just theoretical आता है. Just be aware कि when you combine these two in perpendicular directions, कब straight line होगा, कब कुछ और होगा, और कुछ ऐसा numerical, I don't see them asking. Okay? कब straight line होगा, कब कुछ और होगा. Delta equal to pi by 2. Can you visualize what will happen then? So that's the last case. What will happen when phase is 90 degrees? Maybe take some time out. Just try this. What will happen when delta is perfect? पूर्णा सही है. बाकी लोग थोड़ा सोचो. Delta is 90 degrees. Think what is always the objective to understand the path. ये तो मैंने extra imagination करवाया, but this itself was enough to understand the path. To understand the path, get rid of time. Yes, Nehil, that's also nice. Can you add in? Okay, yeah, that's fine. Great. So you guys anyways know it's an ellipse. Yes, Shivang, yes. So this one also you can actually solve mathematically if delta is pi by 2 or 3 pi by 2, same ही case होगा. एक ही बात है, ठीक है, मतलब similar ही होगा. 3 pi by 2 का भी approach. क्या होने वाला है जब delta pi by 2 है, the second function, a second equation, y is b sine omega t plus pi by 2, that will become b cos omega t. It will become a cos function. And अगर 3 pi by 2 होता है, it will become minus b cos omega t. Idea similar होगा. ठीक है, so it will become a cos function. Now, एक sin omega t term है, एक cos omega t term है. How do you handle this mathematically? Whenever you see sine and cos of the same thing in two different equations, write the identity sine square of that thing plus cos square of that thing is equal to 1, and substitute sine and cos of that angle from the equations. So I'm using the identity sin square omega t plus cos square omega t is 1. And I'm just substituting sin omega t as x upon a and cos omega t as y upon b. That's it. So x upon a ka square plus y upon b ka square is equal to 1. This is a standard ellipse ka equation. Standard ellipse ka equation. Okay? So along the, depending on whichever is bigger, your major and your minor axis will accordingly be, between minus a and a and minus b and b. Those will be your two axes, minus a and a, minus b और b के बीच में. And that's it. This is enough to tell you किस type का ellipse है. इसमें अगर इसका motion visualize करना है तो values डालो. Be that familiar, comfortable with phase. Start putting omega t as 0 and see what happens. डालो omega t 0 तो x sin 0 0, y cos 0 is 1. तो x is 0 and y is b. 0 degrees पे x is 0, y is b. तो y extreme पे है, cos function है, extreme से ही start कर रहा है, और x mean पे है. Alright, so y is at the extreme, x is at the mean position. Then when I put my phase as 90 degrees, this becomes a and cos 90 is 0. So y becomes 0. So now x has reached the extreme, y has reached the mean position. And then continue. Put the phases. This is just for fun, just for visualizing. Put phases 180. So x becomes minus a. Y x becomes 0. Y becomes minus b. X is 0. Y is minus b. And put the phases 270 degrees. X becomes minus a, and y becomes 0 again. Again, the particle is now at the x is negative at the negative extreme. Y is at the mean position. So that is how the motion looks. So this is an elliptical motion. This is not an SHM. अब ये सिर्फ पहले दो केस में जब line straight line था वो motion SHM होगा. This is definitely not an SHM because ये बस एक ellipse के along ऐसा एक cyclic order में जा रहा है. ये elliptical motion है. इसको simple harmonic motion नहीं बोलेंगे. Okay. So this is the result you get. So these three cases are important. These three cases are important. और एक और स्पेशल केस है जब a और b बराबर रहेगा. If a is equal to b, you can see how the equation will become x square plus y square equal to a square, which will become the equation of a circle. So when x and y की amplitudes are the same and the phase difference is 90 degrees, you get circular motion. Yeah, you get circular motion. All right. इस पे कैसे क्वेश्चन आएगा? थियोरेटिकली आएगा. I mean that's can't make more stuff with this. और वो tilted ellipse में they'll never go. And even in maths you may have seen कि they can ask you to identify whether an equation is an ellipse or not, but you may have seen that with ellipses you're always working with ellipses जिनका, I believe, as far as I remember, your axis is always parallel to x and y, isn't it? Normally your axis is parallel to x and y. Del only tells which, okay, yeah. Del only tells which quadrant it belongs to. Delta only tells which quadrant it. I didn't get that. I mean delta 0 makes the motion lie in the first and third quadrant. Delta being pi makes the motion lie in the second and fourth quadrant. But delta does a little bit more than that. वो दो values के अलावा delta लोगे तो फिर straight line से फिर ellipse होना start करता है. Okay. Cool. So I hope you guys are done with this. Anyone wants me to wait here? So that was one theoretical point I wanted to cover. Now link to the last one where I said कि ये दो x is a sin omega t and y is a cos omega t. Same equation, b की जगह अगर a होगा, so the combination of those two SHMs creates circular motion. We're going to see the same idea just in the opposite order. If you consider uniform circular motion, you will find कि when a particle performs uniform circular motion, अगर वो particle का जो motion है उसका अगर तुम projection लोगे along any of the diameters of the circle, okay, so just take the component of the position of the particle along any diameter. Like for instance, in simple words, particle ऐसा घूम रहा है, ठीक है, घूम रहा है, तो particle का x coordinate is ultimately a projection along this diameter. या particle का y coordinate is ultimately a projection along that diameter. तो particle का अगर x coordinate या y coordinate observe करोगे, you will find कि those coordinates or those projections, the projection of that circular motion along a diameter performs an SHM. Okay, and let's prove that. We might already join. You might already see the parallelism from this and the previous point, but let's see it once properly. अगर मेरा particle, ठीक है, uniform circular motion कर रहा है. Everyone knows uniform circular motion means circular motion with constant angular velocity. So let's say I have a particle over here that's performing uniform circular motion with constant angular velocity. तो ऐसा इस track के along घूम रहा है. Let's say delta is the initial angle it happens to make, इसका radius vector happens to make with the y-axis. Delta is the initial angle. So delta is where the particle is at t equal to 0. Let's say A is the radius of the circle. A is the radius of the circle. Now at a general time t, let's say the particle makes an angle phi with the y-axis. So basic circular motion ka kinematics, it starts from delta. In t time, it will cover a distance omega t. Excuse me. In t time, it will cover a distance omega t. जिसके कारण उसका angle हो जाएगा delta plus distance नहीं बोला चाहिए था. It will cover an angular displacement of omega t. जिसके कारण total angle हो जाएगा delta plus omega t. So my angle that it currently makes to the y-axis, currently at a general time t, is okay, that's weird. The general time t is making an angle of omega t plus delta. Now, इस particle का x coordinate अगर लोगे, so the x coordinate is going to be radius sine phase. यानी कि x coordinate हो जाएगा sine phase नहीं, radius sine phi, spoiler दे दिया, radius sine phi. So x is going to be a sine phi, and phi clearly seems to be omega t plus delta, where omega is angular velocity, delta is starting angle, phi is current angle with the y-axis, x is a sine phi, making x a sine omega t plus delta. साफ साफ दिख रहा है कि ये हाँ सर्कुलर मोशन SHM नहीं है, बट सर्कुलर मोशन होते वक्त जो उसका x कोऑर्डिनेट कर रहा है वो एक SHM है. सर्कुलर मोशन होते वक्त ना, जो उसका at any instant, I hope you understand what projection means. So at any instant, wherever the particle may be, just consider that particle's x coordinate. Consider the particle's projection onto this line. वो projection अब यहाँ से दिख रहा है कि SHM कर रहा है. And does it, वो visualize हो रहा है क्या? Just particle जब ऐसा ऐसा घूमता है तो उसका x coordinate आगे पीछे जा रहा है ना. और हमने अभी तो कंपोनेंट लेके perfectly prove किया कि वो कोई ordinary oscillation नहीं है, एक अच्छा सा sinusoidal oscillation है, मतलब एक SHM है. ठीक है. एंड सिमिलरली y कोऑर्डिनेट भी देख लो, y कोऑर्डिनेट हो जाएगा a cos, sorry, current angle is phi, so the current y coordinate will be a cos phi. Yes, Sarthak, yes. And cos phi is cos omega t plus delta. So that just proves कि it's projection along any diameter. In fact, any diameter will be an SHM. This projection along any diameter will be an SHM. तो यही चीज मैंने पिछले इसमें उल्टा बताया. इनका कॉम्बिनेशन मैंने बोला सर्कुलर मोशन देगा. जब x कोऑर्डिनेट एक SHM है साइन वाला और y कोऑर्डिनेट एक SHM है कॉस वाला, उनका कॉम्बिनेशन सर्कुलर मोशन देगा. और यहाँ पे मैं वही कंसेप्ट उल्टा बोल रहा हूँ. जब सर्कुलर मोशन हो रहा है, x coordinate will be an SHM, y coordinate will be an SHM. If you look closely, one will be a sine function, the other will be a cos function of the same angle. So that's just an interesting observation. Again, only purely theoretical, just directly on this, does this happen or does this not happen type question aega. But I wanted to just notice some parallelism. For instance, the radius of the uniform circular motion, यहाँ तक तो A एक्चुअली सर्कल का रेडियस था, उसका रेडियस बिहेव्स लाइक द एम्पलीट्यूड ऑफ द करस्पॉन्डिंग SHM. तो सर्कुलर मोशन का रेडियस करस्पॉन्डिंग SHM का एम्पलीट्यूड की तरह है. फिर सर्कुलर मोशन का एंगुलर वेलोसिटी, रिमेंबर एंगुलर वेलोसिटी इज एंगल रोटेटेड अपॉन टाइम, rate at which the angle changes. Circular motion ka angular velocity, now you'll understand why we use the symbol omega, is similar to the angular frequency of the corresponding SHM. Ye circular motion ka omega tha, but look at where it appears in this equation. It appears in the place of our angular frequency. So circular motion ka angular velocity behaves like the angular frequency of the corresponding SHM. Also note कि दोनों का टाइम पीरियड सेम है. सर्कुलर मोशन का टाइम पीरियड होता है 2 पाई बाय उसका एंगुलर वेलोसिटी. करस्पॉन्डिंग SHM का टाइम पीरियड होगा 2 पाई बाय उसका एंगुलर फ्रीक्वेंसी. Now both are the same in this case. SHM का एंगुलर फ्रीक्वेंसी रेट ऑफ चेंज ऑफ फेज, एंड वो सर्कुलर मोशन का एंगुलर वेलोसिटी रेट ऑफ चेंज ऑफ एंगल. Both are the same. दोनों हिसाब से टाइम पीरियड 2 पाई बाय ओमेगा आता है. These are just some just interesting observations, that's all. Remember this fact कि circular motion का projection will as such give you an SHM. Any doubts in this? Yes, sir. Yes. Anything I understand. Cool. Okay. So this actually concludes your SHM topic from the advanced perspective. In the main syllabus, there is this 1 or 2 extra concepts. I'll just quickly mention them. This is not in your advanced syllabus. This is in your main syllabus. Of course, I have to teach you guys because you are going to give the mains exam. And again, unless you get an IIT, then you still, your main exam is then the mains exam, because you can still get pretty good colleges by doing well in your mains exam. That said, mains exam mein, you have 2 more concepts, small concepts, ho jayega abhi, 2 small concepts called as damped oscillations and forced oscillations. Now, let me just tell you why this is not in the advanced syllabus. This is not in the advanced syllabus because the advanced exam prefers putting concepts जिसमें थोड़ा और डेप्थ में सवाल पूछा जा सकता है. So the concepts are on the face of it simple, and then you can apply the concepts in they're so simple that you can now apply it in more interesting and tough scenarios. That's how the advanced exam approaches this. The mains exam is more or less just based on the NCERT. So if something is in the NCERT, they put it. And this, for instance, damped oscillations is actually quite complex. Iska derivation, in fact, I'm not even going to demonstrate. Iska derivation involves a second order equation, which is pretty complex. So we'll just, you just have the formula for this. Mains exam इतना tough concept है कि इस पे बस वो formula based सवाल आ सकता है. And advanced does not like asking formula based things. They like asking a little bit more in-depth applications. So with concepts which are so tough कि सिर्फ formula based सवाल पूछ सकते हैं, advanced exam has decided to leave them out of the advanced syllabus. So that's quite smart on their part. Good, they have left this out of the advanced syllabus. Nonetheless, mains के voice break हो रहा है. अच्छा. See, I'm not repeating what I just said. Pointless था. Point ये है कि mains के exam में है, तो let's just have a look at this. The main essence of what I was trying to say is this is just going to be formula based. ज़्यादा depth में नहीं जाना है. अगर depth में जाना possible होता तो advanced के syllabus में होता. ठीक है? So ज़्यादा depth में नहीं जाना है. एक कैसे तो जादू से एक differential equation solve होगा. उसका जो answer है वो तुम्हें answer याद करना है. Yeah. So anyways, you've been doing a lot of memorizing for your board exams and all. So वैसा एक बार physics में just you'll have to memorize this result. Still, we'll see how the result makes at least some sense. So what are damped oscillations? So in reality, we know that if you leave a pendulum oscillating, it's going to lose energy and it's going to ultimately stop. In fact, the mechanical energy in any real oscillating system decreases during oscillations because of external non-conservative forces. For instance, the viscous drag force, whether your motion is taking place in water, whether your motion is taking place in air, you are going to have the viscous force that surrounding medium is going to apply on that object. So us viscous force ke karan, ultimately what is going to happen? It's non-conservative in nature. That means whatever work it's going to do, it's going to, in a sense, it's going to drain your mechanical energy and it's going to convert your mechanical energy into thermal energy. It's going to generate heat. Okay? Friction ki tarah hai. It's going to generate heat. So in general, your damping force that we're going to talk about. Now, damping forces can have several complicated formulas, but the ones we are dealing with over here is only a damping force which varies with velocity. Force which is opposite the velocity and proportional to the velocity. That is going to be an example of a damping force. B is going to be a constant called as our damping constant. So just to give you an example of a force which looks like this, visualize Stokes' law. Visualize a nice spherical ball moving through a fluid. Isn't this the force that ball experiences opposite its velocity? And the magnitude of the force is 6 pi eta r v. All right, so that's an example of your that is the example of your damping force if your object is a sphere moving in a fluid. Okay, if it's not a sphere, then of course that constants will change. The constants will be different. We'll call that constant t because we are not going to break our heads into figuring out what that constant is. It depends on the shape of the object. But nonetheless, just to give you an example, Stokes' law, so you can understand how your viscous drag forces are typically going to be proportional to velocity and opposite it. Now, this is our damping force. Again, simple words. अपना जो equation है, net force, अब net force, m into a, mass into acceleration. Okay, so maybe I'll have to, should I use a symbol over here? I can maybe use a symbol damping force, FD. दो बार F आ रहा है. Let's use the symbol damping force. Okay. Now, our net force is going to be mass into acceleration of our particle that's moving. अब उस पे क्या क्या force लगेगा? एक तो spring force लगता है. उसके साथ साथ ये अब damping force लगेगा minus BV. माइनस bv को मैंने माइनस b dx by dt लिखा. Okay, this is second order differential equation, and trust me, you will only learn to solve this in a specific course. I think maybe the second course of maths that you do in your engineering, that's when you will learn to solve this. Okay, and there's a big piece of theory behind this. So even goes into complex numbers and all of that. So this is not something we are going to even attempt to understand now. But इसका solution क्या है? तो एक तो original equation क्या है वो देख सकते हैं, वो समझ सकते हैं. Original equation में spring force के साथ साथ एक damping force था. तो याद करो damping force का nature क्या है? Proportional to velocity with a minus sign, मतलब opposite velocity. बस उतना याद करो. और इसका direct solution, इसका solution directly देखो. अब इसका solution क्या है? It seems to be something like this. Okay, let's try to understand this. So this part looks a little nice. Okay, this part looks like an SHM ka equation. I mean, looks like the second half of an SHM ka equation. No, ek minute, sorry, I'll just, one of you saying, so wouldn't this be plus b dx by dt? Answer is no, it won't be plus b dx by dt. The net force, no, the net force on a particle is going to be opposite. It's एक तो spring force we know opposite displacement होता है, और दूसरी बात velocity का जो भी direction होगा वो velocity के direction के opposite damping force होगा. So your damping force is going to be opposite the direction of dx by dt. If dx by dt is positive, your damping force is going to be negative. If particle is moving towards positive x, your damping force is going to pull it behind. Hence the minus sign. दोनों इसमें माइनस साइन है. स्प्रिंग फोर्स में एक माइनस साइन है, अपोजिंग डिस्प्लेसमेंट फ्रॉम मीन पोजीशन, और फोर्स में माइनस साइन. Yeah, non-conservative force is going to be opposite the motion at any instant, and this one is always going to be towards the mean position, so opposite the displacement. Non-conservative force will be opposite the velocity. What if it is a spring? Will we neglect? नहीं, तो क्या स्प्रिंग के लिए स्प्रिंग का क्या होगा फिर इसमें? if there is a spring, so what if it's a string? Hey, so based on the situation, अब string में SHM, simple pendulum is still an SHM, right? We are considering cases where you have damping forces added to an SHM equation. इसको neglect नहीं करना है. We are working on an SHM. वो SHM वाला equation, pendulum में K becomes mg upon L. In another situation, K will again depend on the physical variables over there. ना pendulum का K is mg by L. So simple harmonic motion के over अगर तुम एक ऐसा एक damping force डालोगे, हाँ, so simple pendulum performs in SHM, and the reason we say it performs in SHM is we are actually ignoring this. We're ignoring the effects of the air curve viscosity and stuff like that. If we take that also into account, real situation, we are SHM वगैरह, we are, that's a little bit into the ideal world. Real situation, SHM के साथ साथ ये drag force रहेगा, ठीक है? जितना ज़्यादा B होगा उतना ज़्यादा वो damping force रहेगा, and accordingly it will be more and more of a damped oscillation. Damped oscillation का solution ऐसा दिखता है. You want to see the SHM solution, put B equal to 0. You put B equal to 0, this term will disappear because e raised to 0 is 1. And then even this term will disappear. You'll get the exact same equation. Okay, I'll demonstrate that. You put B equal to 0, you get the original SHM. But B के साथ साथ ऐसा SHM दिखता है, and इस equation को थोड़ा analyze करने वाले थे. ये है sin omega dash t plus delta. So this looks like, yes, Shivang, yes, yeah. Now this equation looks like SHM का part. So there is an oscillating part. The only thing note कि oscillating part का frequency थोड़ा अलग है. वो frequency का ये formula है. This you have to just memorize. अब आ गया ऐसा formula. So omega dash is root k by m minus b upon 2m का whole square. Okay, k by m, is there anything special about that? तो k by m we can definitely understand is वो natural जो ओमेगा होता था ना, natural जो ओमेगा होता था SHM का, वो ओमेगा का स्क्वायर. तो ओमेगा स्क्वायर, remember omega is root k by m if only the SHM was present. वो ओमेगा का स्क्वायर इधर दिख रहा है k by m, रूट हट गया, k by m दिख रहा है. So that is maybe how we can remember the first term. The second term you just have to memorize. So you have b by 2m over here, but maybe one pattern you can see is यहाँ पे b by 2m का स्क्वायर है और वहां पे भी b upon 2m है. नीचे भी b by 2m, ऊपर भी b by 2m. Okay, so ऐसा it is an oscillating function with some different omega, but note कि ये omega is still a constant. तो ये अब जिस तरीके से oscillate करेगा वो time period उसका fix रहेगा. Okay, that oscillating time period is fixed. What else? जो SHM में sign के सामने होता है, that was normally our amplitude. So this is in a way our amplitude. The only thing is this is not constant anymore, but you guys know how to plot this graph. Utna functions of course aata hai, a very basic function. This is an exponentially decaying graph. So this tells me ki my amplitude is exponentially decaying with time. You might have seen this equation for a first order reaction in chemistry. You know how that looks. Every half-life आधा होता है. वैसे ही, this is an exponentially decaying amplitude. So it starts off with A naught at t equal to 0 and it keeps decreasing, decreasing, decreasing. So amplitude as expected कम होते जा रहा है, but amplitude कम जैसे होते जा रहा है, particle का oscillation जारी है. Amplitude कम होते जा रहा है, oscillation जारी है. Till ultimately, you know, the amplitude becomes so small that we almost say it's no longer oscillating. Okay, and I'll show you the graph of how x varies with time on the next page. But did you guys get an idea? इसको ultimately याद करना है before your mains exam. तुम्हारे इसमें वगैरह नहीं आएगा, of course, advanced के major test and TWTs वगैरह में नहीं आएगा. But before your mains exam, just make sure you do revise this formula. Every once in a while when you revise SHM, revise this formula. By the time you give your mains exam, more or less इसके अलग-अलग parts याद रह जाए. The mains ऐसा paper है where they want students to memorize things and then they'll ask a formula based thing, and then who has memorized they get marks and who has not memorized they don't get marks. That's not something which the advanced paper likes to do. Memory ज़्यादा test नहीं करता, ज़्यादा मतलब application test करता है. Kind of like that. To show you how x varies with time, normal SHM, you guys know how that works. Normal SHM, ऐसा a or minus a are the extremes. A sin omega t is the equation. So between those extremes, it will oscillate. है ना? An ideal world है. It's like कभी energy जा ही नहीं रहा है normal SHM में. तो हमेशा अकेले प्लस और माइनस ए के बीच में ऑसिलेट करते जाएगा, ऑसिलेट करते जाएगा, ऑसिलेट करते जाएगा. कभी एम्पलीट्यूड उसका कम नहीं हो रहा है. In a real, in a normal SHM, in an ideal SHM, but in a damped oscillation, notice how the amplitude is exponentially decaying. So now the amplitude will not stay A. Okay, the amplitude is going to decay. So it's going to oscillate between. So label this as A naught and minus A naught. It will start out as though its amplitude is A naught. It will start out as though its amplitude is A naught. But first we'll, in fact, let's draw the envelope. ठीक है, envelope मतलब किस limits के बीच में oscillate करेगा. तो normal SHM के लिए ऐसा है ना, हमेशा plus और minus A के बीच में oscillate करेगा. That's not how it is for damped oscillation. Damped oscillation में तुम्हारा amplitude का जो envelope है वो gradually कम होते जा रहा है ना. That equation is an exponentially decaying function, like a first order reaction. थोड़ा याद दिला रहा हूँ, like a first order reaction. First order reaction अगर तुम्हें समझ में आ गया chemistry में, वैसे ही है, बस वो chemistry का rate constant के जगह b upon 2m है यहाँ पे. तो वैसे ही तुम्हारा एम्पलीट्यूड कम हो रहा है, एंड एज योर एम्पलीट्यूड इज डिक्रीजिंग, नाउ द पार्टिकल इज ऑसिलेटिंग with the same, I mean, with a fixed frequency. Frequency alag hai, but it's oscillating with a fixed frequency between that decaying extremes. Between those decaying extremes, it is oscillating. तो amplitude कम होते जा रहा है, but उसका time period fixed है. ठीक है, time period fixed है. Of course, it never goes back to the same extreme position, but the time between successive extreme positions is fixed. एक्सट्रीम पोजीशन छोटा होते जाएगा, वो एक्सट्रीम पोजीशन हर बार एक फिक्स्ड टाइम के बाद पहुंचते जाएगा. ठीक है, सो दैट्स हाउ वी आर डिफाइनिंग आवर टाइम पीरियड. तो 2 पाई बाय ओमेगा डैश, थोड़ा मेहनत करना पड़ेगा ये सब याद करने के लिए. ओमेगा डैश इज रूट के बाय एम माइनस बी बाय 2m का होल स्क्वायर. एनी डाउट्स? एनी नो? एक आध दो क्वेश्चन कर सकते हैं. I think this in fact seems quite intuitive. Damped oscillations, you can visualize pendulum ka oscillation decaying with time, you know, and somehow becoming smaller and smaller, that amplitude becoming smaller and smaller. Can you try this question? Okay, so agar mains mein aisa sawal aaya to is type ka rahega. When an oscillator completed 100 oscillations, its amplitude reduces to 1/3 of its initial value. Completes kar lunga. What will its amplitude be when it has completed 200 oscillations? Okay. So when an oscillator completes 100 oscillations, its amplitude reduces to 1/3 of its initial value A naught. क्या होगा उसका एम्पलीट्यूड जब वो 200 ऑसिलेशन कंप्लीट कर चुका है? मेंस के TWT में आया था. Yeah, sorry. हाँ. Nobody is typing anything. Try करो. थोड़ा ये एक्सपोनेंशियल फंक्शन वाला फील भी आ जाएगा. Exponential function. Oh, this is just about the first part. A naught e raised to minus bt by 2m उस पार्ट का है. वो पार्ट in a certain number of oscillations 1/3 हो गया. वापस in a certain number of oscillations, या starting से double of those oscillations में क्या हो जाएगा amplitude? Yes, Ayush, very nice. Great. In fact, this is, um, you will later see, Sanika also, very nice. You later see that this is a property of these kind of exponentially decaying functions, which you see in several other chapters of physics. And you will definitely, you've seen in your yeah, first order reaction as well. As you know, first order reaction में हर half life के multiple पे आधा होते जाता है. If in 2 seconds it became half, in another 2 seconds it again becomes half. In another 2 seconds it again becomes half. That's how an exponential function varies. तो यहाँ पे भी वही सीन है. 100 oscillation में 1/3 हुआ, अगले 100 oscillation में वापस 1/3 होगा. 200 oscillations में वो 1/3 का 1/3 होगा, 1/9 हो जाएगा. That's a property of that exponential function. क्या हो रहा है इसमें? 100 oscillations, मतलब मैंने तो और elaborate solution दिया है. You can do a lot shorter than this. मैं बस elaborately लिख रहा हूँ. 100 oscillations मतलब ऐसा 100 कितना टाइम होगा उसके लिए? तो मे बी 100, of course 100 multiples of the time period. अब initially 100 oscillations के बाद amplitude became A0 by 3. But my amplitude's formula is A0 minus B T by 2m. टाइम को मैं 100 into टाइम पीरियड, कैपिटल टी टाइम पीरियड, तो टाइम को मैं 100 मल्टीपल्स ऑफ टाइम पीरियड से रिप्लेस कर रहा हूं. तो ऐसा एक इक्वेशन आ गया. क्या है इस इक्वेशन में? e raised to minus b 100 t by 2m is 1/3. e raised to minus, अब देख के मतलब डरो मत, ज्यादा कुछ करना नहीं है उसके साथ, वैसे ही रखना है. ठीक है, दिस इज 1/3. just notice what happens in 200 oscillations. 200 oscillations means 200 multiples of time period. So what would happen to this function? What would happen to my amplitude? So it's going to become A0 e raised to minus b upon 2m into 200 multiples of time period. Now, you know this. Vase, how do you make sense of this? So you can write that in fact as e raised to minus b 100 t by 2m raised to the power 2. Because raised to 2 में 100 into 2 200 हो जाएगा ना, तो raised to the power 2. और ये पूरा चीज तो 1/3 था, तो वहां से आ जाएगा कि A0 1/3 का स्क्वायर, A0 by 9. So actually this is very similar to your half life. Like half life, as I said, if you know in certain amount of time half हो जाएगा, in double the amount of time 1/4 हो जाएगा, वापस half का half होगा, है ना? You've seen it in, हाँ, you've seen it in your first order reaction. You've seen it probably in atomic structure, radioactivity, I'm not very sure, but you will definitely see it again in modern physics. You'll see it in electromagnetism. You're going to see it in several places in your advanced syllabus itself. ये वैसा फंक्शन है. एक टाइम पे 1/3 हो गया, वापस उतने ही टाइम में उसका वापस 1/3 हो गया, तो 1/9 हो गया. Wow, I'm down to my last 2 pages. Maybe one more just to wrap this up. If the amplitude of an oscillation becomes 1/4 in 0.693 seconds, find B. So I'm giving you M. Okay? Damped oscillations, the mainly questions will deal with the first part, A0 e raised to minus bt by 2m. Mainly. And being in the main syllabus, ज़्यादा formula based ही होगा, उस पे PhD नहीं करना है. Don't try to explore now how that differential equation was solved. You have a course devoted to that in your engineering. In the first year or second year, में you do a course devoted to that. Yes, Sarthak, that's right. And I think you can still cancel out some things there. सही है, cancel भी होगा उसमें. नहीं, LN2 क्या होता है? Yeah, perfect. Yes, पूर्णा सही है. Can again cancel out some terms. सानिका सही है. शिवांग सही है. Yeah. 4M is the answer. Yeah, it's quite simple. Basically, was value डालना था. ऐसा you can expect in your mains exam. Sonti, nice. So just write your amplitude as A0 by 4, and then that's it. This is going to be equated to 1/4. E raised to minus BT by 2m is 1/4. So reciprocal ले लो. E raised to BT by 2m will be 4. And then take ln on both sides. That's how you figure out the time. Okay, given amplitude कोई value तक पहुंच गया, how you figure out time? ऐसे. ठीक है? So just substitute it. Figure this out. Reciprocal ले लो. दोनों side ln ले लो. The BT by 2m is ln4. Rearrange the ln4 is 2 ln2. Rearrange the terms, and B is 4m ln2. Sorry, T is 4. B is 4m ln2 by T. 4m ln2 by T. T is 0.693. ln2 and 0.693 are pretty close. Okay. ln2 is approximately 0.693. So you can cancel that and get B as 4m. You know, ऐसा to give you a glimpse of कैसे सवाल आता है मेंस में इस पे. One last page to go. So I can just borrow a few more minutes. यार ये तो इसमें और भी स्कोप कम हो जाता है for asking questions. So again, just be aware of theoretically what goes on. क्या होता है in a forced oscillation, there is an external force which is sinusoidal in nature. कोई अपने हाथ से स्प्रिंग का फोर्स को ऐसा इमिटेट करने की कोशिश कर रहा है, बट क्या है कि वो एक अलग फ्रीक्वेंसी से इमिटेट मतलब ऑसिलेट कराने की कोशिश कर रहा है. इमेजिन यू होल्ड अ पेंडुलम बॉब and you try to oscillate the pendulum bob on your own, and you just happen to give it a sinusoidal force. You happen to give it an SHM like force. The only thing is the frequency with which you are oscillating the bob is not the natural frequency of the SHM. Natural frequency of the SHM system पे depend करता है. Pendulum का एक natural frequency होता है, स्प्रिंग ब्लॉक सिस्टम का एक नेचुरल फ्रीक्वेंसी होता है. इमेजिन वही स्प्रिंग ब्लॉक सिस्टम को मैं अपने मर्जी से एक अलग एसएचएम के फोर्स से मैं मूव कराने की कोशिश कर रहा हूं, तब इक्वेशन कैसे दिखेगा? तो इट गेट्स इवन मोर कॉम्प्लेक्स. तो योर नेट फोर्स बिकम्स माइनस के एक्स माइनस बीवी, अभी भी डैम्पिंग है. ऑन टॉप ऑफ दैट तुम ऐसा फोर्स लगा रहे हो. तो फर्स्ट एंड फॉरमोस्ट, व्हेन यू कीप अप्लाइंग दिस एक्सटर्नल फोर्स, you get an SHM as your motion. This external force ensures the energy is not lost. Okay, so when you keep applying an external force, that keeps the motion going. That's in a way giving energy back to the system. जितना भी lose हो रहा है उतना energy वापस मिलते जा रहा है, the motion keeps going. Okay, so when you apply this external force, the motion will no longer be damped. You'll have an SHM. In fact, जो तुम जिस हिसाब से मूव कराओगे पार्टिकल को, उसी ओमेगा से वो एसएचएम करेगा, है ना. इमेजिन द नेचुरल फ्रीक्वेंसी ऑफ अ स्प्रिंग ब्लॉक सिस्टम रूट के बाय एम. इमेजिन दैट वाज 1 रेडियन पर सेकंड. नेचुरल एंगुलर फ्रीक्वेंसी वाज 1 रेडियन पर सेकंड. मैं जबरदस्ती 3 रेडियन पर सेकंड के एंगुलर फ्रीक्वेंसी से मैं उसको मूव कराने की कोशिश कर रहा हूं. क्या होगा अंत में? वो उसी एंगुलर जिस रेट से तुम अपना हाथ को मूव करोगे, उतना ही रेट से वो साथ साथ ब्लॉक भी मूव होगा. तो ब्लॉक का मोशन ऐसा दिखेगा. ठीक है, तो ए साइन ओमेगा नॉट टी प्लस 5, where what is happening, it's going to move with the same angular frequency as that of the external force. वो फोर्स ही इसको अल्टीमेटली ऐसा डिक्टेट करा रहा है कैसे मूव करना चाहिए. So this will be in sync with that force. It will move in the same angular frequency. Uska amplitude, however, has this kind of complicated function which you need to memorize. थोड़ा इसको ज़्यादा observe कर लो, you'll memorize it. Now let me just tell you what are the terms in this amplitude. So you have this force F naught by m. Okay, fine. We can work with that. You have B omega naught by m. Okay, उसका स्क्वायर. ठीक है, थोड़ा एफर्ट लगाएंगे, याद कर लेंगे. और यहाँ पे इंटरेस्टिंग चीज है, ओमेगा स्क्वायर माइनस ओमेगा नॉट स्क्वायर का स्क्वायर. ठीक है, सो यू डोंट नीड टू वरी अबाउट विच इज विच. किसी भी ऑर्डर में तुम इसको लिख सकते हो, बिकॉज अल्टीमेटली बार स्क्वायर लिया जा रहा है. अल्टीमेटली वन ऑफ द ओमेगाज इज द ओमेगा ऑफ योर एक्सटर्नल फोर्स, एंड वन ऑफ द ओमेगाज इज द ओमेगा ऑफ योर नेचुरल, जो एसएचएम का नेचुरल मोशन होना था ना, रूट के बाय एम. अगर ये फोर्स नहीं होता, ये किस एंगुलर फ्रीक्वेंसी से ऑसिलेट करता, वो एंगुलर फ्रीक्वेंसी. तो एक है वो नेचुरल वाला एंगुलर फ्रीक्वेंसी, और एक है बार का एंगुलर फ्रीक्वेंसी. तो उनका स्क्वायर का डिफरेंस का स्क्वायर प्लस बी ओमेगा नॉट बाय एम का स्क्वायर. यू कैन सी व्हाई your JEE Advanced is not interested in asking any question on this. Yeah, just for the sake of mains, just to be safe, you can memorize this. सबसे ऊपर एक ओमेगा डैश. या आई एम सो सॉरी, थैंक्स फॉर करेक्टिंग मी यार. वाओ, नाइस अटेंशन टू डिटेल, गुड. वो ओमेगा नॉट होगा. ऑलराइट, सो ये एक रिजल्ट आता है, यू कैन मेमोराइज दिस रिजल्ट. व्हाट इज इंटरेस्टिंग इन दिस रिजल्ट इज कि जब तुम्हारा एक्सटर्नल फ्रीक्वेंसी matches the natural frequency of the SHM. Okay, so if a spring block system's omega is 1 radian per second, if I apply a force with that same omega instead of any other omega, if I match that omega, then you can see कि omega is omega naught. That means this entire denominator becomes 0. It becomes as small as possible. The entire denominator now is becoming as small as possible. Means our amplitude is becoming as large as possible. You can see that mathematically. Omega और omega naught अगर बराबर है, बाहर का frequency और SHM का natural frequency बराबर है, then amplitude is maximum. When amplitude is maximum, in such a scenario, we call this condition as resonance. Resonance is exactly that, right? When the external frequency and your frequency matches. Sound के perspective में, you say a loud sound is produced. यहाँ पे oscillations के perspective में बाहर का frequency और तुम्हारा frequency sync में है, then you get a large amplitude. इसका एक before we leave एक अच्छा example ये है. Imagine you're pushing someone on a swing. You're pushing someone on a swing. Not the best example, but okay, that's not the best example. But imagine if you're pushing some kid on a swing, the swing has its own natural frequency with which the swing likes to oscillate. Right? Left to itself, वो एक pendulum की तरह more or less oscillate करेगा. हम तो of course sinusoidal force नहीं लगाते हैं, but हमारा जो force है, if we place that in sync with the swing, you are able to achieve large amplitudes. है ना? एक perfect time पे अगर तुम whichever kid is on the swing, perfect time पे push करोगे, you'll achieve large amplitudes. If you're out of sync, बच्चा वहां से तुम्हारी तरफ आ रहा है, तब तुमने एक push किया, है ना? पूरा chain loose हो जाएगा, बच्चा बाहर गिरेगा. It won't work well. There'll be losses in energy. But when you'll find कि when your pushing is perfectly in sync, you push it at the nice sweet spot at the right time, then almost जो भी जितना भी थोड़ा सा एनर्जी लूज हुआ, यू आर मेंटेनिंग दैट. एक ऑसिलेशन में जितना एनर्जी लूज हुआ फ्रिक्शन वगैरह के कारण, एयर फ्रिक्शन के कारण, यू आर अगेन जस्ट मेंटेनिंग दैट. ज्यादा फोर्स भी नहीं लगाना, हल्का सा फोर्स लगा के यू आर जस्ट maintaining its amplitude. So that's an example of what forced oscillation does. When the frequencies are in sync, you get a condition of resonance. उतना याद करना है कि amplitude suddenly बड़ा हो जाता है. All right, that said, just try to remember these formulas. We are of this portion, damped oscillations, forced oscillations, won't come in your TWT, won't come in any of your advanced papers. But that doesn't mean that you never touch this again. You will need it for your mains exam. I always say your mains paper is very important. Ultimately, unless you're getting an IIT, most students normally get a college to the mains exam, and you can get very good colleges to your mains exam. You have to do well in that exam as well. Okay. That's it. Can we substitute omega as root k by wherever needed? Yeah, wherever. Root k will always be the equivalent k, even if there is no spring. Root k means this term, force x के proportional होगा. एक ऑर्डिनरी एसएचएम पे हमने अब और कीड़ा डाल रहे हैं, है ना? ऑर्डिनरी एसएचएम पे तो जो सादा एसएचएम है, फोर्स बीइंग प्रोपोर्शनल टू एक्स, दैट proportionality constant is always k and omega is always root k by m. What is omega in a का फॉर्मूला? ये एक बार वापस क्लैरिटी देता हूँ. ये जो ओमेगा नॉट है, ये बाहर वाले फोर्स का फ्रीक्वेंसी है, एक्सटर्नल फोर्स का ओमेगा है. और ये जो ओमेगा है, ये सिस्टम का नेचुरल ओमेगा है, विच डिपेंड्स ऑन के एंड एम. जो अब तक एसएचएम में सीखा ना, वो वाला ओमेगा है, और ये एक्सटर्नल ओमेगा है. और ये वाला जो ओमेगा है, ये वही एक्सटर्नल वाला है. ठीक है. ये थोड़ा हर बार जब रिवाइज करोगे एसएचएम, थोड़ा याद करने की कोशिश कर लो. यू विल फॉरगेट अगेन एवरी टाइम यू रिवाइज दिस. थोड़ा थोड़ा याद कर लो. फाइनली बिफोर योर मेंस एग्जाम एक बार ये याद करके जाओ. Theoretical, at least know what resonance is, when is resonance achieved, those kinds of things. Okay. Cool, then fine. Thursday finally, now we'll discuss your HCV doubts and your paper doubts. Try to refer to the solutions once posted on the group. Maybe that may take care of some certain simpler questions that you may want to ask. So try to refer to the solutions of the PWT. And still, of course, if there are questions which you want to discuss, we will discuss them, and we'll discuss your HCV as well. And then just relax, revise well for your major test. F naught, yes, F naught is a constant. F naught is a constant. PWT solution डाला है ना मैंने group में. I've shared the paper and the apparently the solutions. Paper and solutions. Okay. Yeah. Welcome. Just do your paper well. A lot of you are sometimes, don't get nervous, man, in an exam. थोड़ा आराम से दो. Your life doesn't depend on it. And as I always say, a lot of great tennis coaches teach their players to focus on the point. When you're playing a game of tennis, you have to focus on that specific point. You can't focus on what you need to do ahead in the match, what you need to do ahead in the set. You can't focus on all of that. You need to focus on the point. So similarly, when you're giving an exam, don't focus on कितना time बाकी है, आगे क्या करना है, next question, अरे इतना question छोड़ दिया, उस question का क्या answer है, बाकी लोग क्या कर रहे हैं. Just try to focus on that question, solve the question and move on. Question को 3 बार ऐसा distracted mind से पढ़ के चौथी बार focus करके पढ़ने का time waste हो जाएगा. Before you read a question, just take a deep breath, focus and read that question once. वो एक reading में है ना, grasp things, maybe read it again, but just try to manage your nerves. Again, this is life का struggle होगा. First performance on stage, first game in front of others, first speech, हर चीज में nerves का battle है. Take this as a chance to battle nerves and solve a problem in general, which all people struggle with. Okay, so all the best. See you. Bye. Yeah, guys, you can leave. Bye.